That's been our conversations lately. What do you actually need?
As men, we try to solve things, and sometimes is this a solvable solution you want, or do you want me to just listen? Got to learn that. Very big difference. You don't ever want to solve a problem you're not asked to solve.
It always talked about me wanting to be an entrepreneur and me also wanting to be a really present mom and wanting to juggle both. And then all of a sudden I was like, psych, I don't want to do this. I want to burn it all down.
Keisha's ChatGPT talks to her wildly different than mine talks to me.
It's like, girl, this is a juicy question. I read it back to you. I'm like, this sounds like me. This is wild.
You're just running up OpenAI's electricity bill with all their usage. I think it's harder for the moms. I think there's a lot of mom, I don't know, shaming is the right word, but comparison, I guess, of oh, you're like a full-time mom, or oh, you're like a stay-at-home. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of narrative around that.
Preach. We're saddled up and we're ready.
This is going in a different direction.
Right term.
Not sure if that was the right one to say.
What's up? I'm so excited that you're here for our first ever mom and dad chat.
First one.
The new pod. If you don't know yet, this is my husband, Seena.
That's me. And baby daddy.
Which is very important. And we have been together for almost 17 years since we were toddlers.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited about this segment because when I was sharing about the vision with the seasons and wanting to talk about motherhood and ambition and how to integrate those two things, I was talking on Instagram and a lot of people were like, bring Seena on, or I'd love to hear husband and wife perspective. And so much of what changes when you have a kid is your relationship and your marriage.
Yeah, just a little.
Just a little. And then also, so much of you as, maybe the mom that's listening into this podcast, your desire to honor your ambition and want to honor being present with your kids and also wanting to have this exceptional marriage. It's so many conversations have to happen with your significant other in every single season along the way. And I just wanted to really pull back the curtain. I've got a list of questions here for Seena, and he doesn't really know what we're going to get into, but what else is new?
See what happens.
This is how it goes.
Yeah, this is how it goes. We'll see. We'll go down a rabbit hole and see where we end up.
It's going to be great. Also, I just want to remind you, for this podcast, we do have a YouTube channel. So if you want to watch us live, I mentioned in the first episode how you look like Ross from Friends and Drake had a baby.
Oh yeah. If you want to verify, go ahead and go into the YouTube.
There it is. Anyways, you can check it out at Keisha Get Married and subscribe to the YouTube channel. All of the episodes will be released.
Leave a review. Give it a thumbs up.
Give it a thumbs up.
Yeah.
If you like it. If you don't like it, just gracefully exit.
Move on.
Totally fine. Okay. So the first thing I want to start with is, what season do you feel you're in right now?
Oh, this is great for the seasons podcast, right?
That's how every episode starts, by asking people that so they can gauge where you're at individually, and then we're going to talk about where we're at. So you, Seena, as an individual person, what season do you feel that you're in right now?
In this current moment, It's a go season, trying to build the company I started about 8 months ago called Rent Up. We do marketing for apartment buildings, and then also expanding our real estate portfolio, and also trying to navigate raising a 2-year-old now, turns
so
2
wild.
next month, and our relationship, our friendships. So it's a good season, I would say. It's active, a lot of things going on. I think the initial getting used to what it looks like to be entrepreneurs with a child has been a lot this last year, and we've learned a lot.
Yeah.
And we're kind of in that, we're both in that go season, finding that right balance of what it looks like to be ambitious and also raise a family, and make sure we're supporting each other in the way we're supposed to support each other, and do it all.
Yeah.
Kind of
Yeah. And it's interesting too, because I do feel, for anyone that's listening in right now that has been along on this journey with us for years, you probably know that we've been thinking about how we would set up our life to have kids.
Yeah.
That was part of the reason that we got into real estate investing. We wanted to have something that required a little bit less of us both showing up, but could still make income for our family. And a lot of the choices that we made proactively before becoming parents was to help set us up to have choices and optionality, and our freedom and schedule to, time freedom was really important to us.
Yeah, the optionality, but you don't really know what it's going to be like.
That's what I was just going to say.
We thought we would know, and then it's you don't really know until you go through it. And it's even when friends are having kids now, we're we don't. It's the most annoying thing to say, when you're ahead of someone in a kid journey, what it's going to be like.
Yeah.
But internally when we talk, we're oh, they're going to have to adjust to what it's going to be like. And every couple's different. Everyone's situation is different, and you don't know until you actually go through it. and like what works for you. And you kind of have to stumble a little bit along the way of like, you're trying to keep this human alive that like, there's no like manual. Well, I guess you have like ChatGPT, but like, there's no like, there's no like instructions on how to like raise a child and then balance everything. So you just have to like kind of learn and trial and error. That's how it goes.
Yeah. Okay. So from a business perspective, because obviously a lot of this podcast is about ambition and motherhood integration. And obviously in our conversations, more like parenthood. Can you tell me what you felt when I told you that I wanted to close down empowerHER, knowing for context for people that don't know. So empowerHER was my last podcast. And it's also the business that I had created courses and masterminds and events and one-on-one coaching and keynote speaking and earned, over the course of it, several $1 million with that business. So it was a very lucrative, fulfilling, impactful business. And, in June, I closed it down.
Yeah.
And I decided that I wanted to swing the pendulum to the other side of the spectrum and spend a lot of time with our almost 2-year-old son. I want to know from your perspective, and I'm going to keep this up a little bit. I want to know from your perspective what you thought, knowing me, but also through the lens of someone who might want to have a conversation with her significant other about a season change, because it was really abrupt and we had never talked about me wanting to do that.
Yeah.
We had always talked about me wanting to be an entrepreneur and me also wanting to be a really present mom and wanting to juggle both. And then all of a sudden I was like, psych, I don't want to do this. I want to burn it all down. So what did you think in relation to me? And then we'll kind of get into like how someone else could process their thoughts before just like vomiting on their significant other.
Yeah. It's good to process a little bit before you go word vomit.
I don't do that.
Because, as men, we try to solve things. And sometimes is this a solvable solution you want, or do you want me to just listen? Got to learn that. Very big difference. You don't ever want to solve a problem you're not asked to solve.
So real.
Yeah. For you, like I don't want to say like I knew what you needed to do, but I think you had to like swing that pendulum and just see what it was like for you to get that experience and like really feel that of like a full stop and be like, what do I want?
Yeah.
I kind of had a feeling that wouldn't last very long, but
were you accurate on the timing of it?
You lasted a little longer than I thought. Thought it'd be like 2 weeks in, you'd be like, okay, I want to start a new business. And you did you went 3 months, almost 4 months. So it was good for you. So like, I knew regardless of the time frame, it was going to be good for you to like go through that process of like, and that goes back to what I was just talking about. It's like the trial and error of like, you got to like try it out and like see what it feels like in your body. Cause like there could have been an alternative world where you're like, wait, no, I love this. Like, I don't want to start a business for a couple of years until they're like, kids are in kindergarten or whatever. Right. Like, and that could have been a very real reality. But if you didn't give yourself that space to experience it, you wouldn't have really be able to like feel that out. It'd be all hypothetical kind of like thinking about it. So like, but I had a pretty strong feeling you would be back to doing something.
Is it because you just feel like I'm like a DNA entrepreneur?
Yeah. You're just like that. Just like you're just have ideas and want to do things but like, I knew it'd come with a balance. So like, you're not coming back and like, it's not gonna be like full time.
Totally.
It's gonna be a balance, and that's what you have to go figure out. And even now, as you kind of start this podcast back up and whatever leads from this, whatever kind of things you end up doing, it's going to be a trial of like pushing that boundary and that like line of like what's too much and what's enough. And it's gonna be a constant change, right?
Tis the whole premise of this podcast. Season, literally, that's why, because it is constant. And like, can you give a little bit of context to like even us in this season from your perspective, where it's like, oh, I don't want childcare. I want this. Like, what's your take on how I'm processing it? Because some women listening into this are not as much verbal processors as me, where they're like just saying everything that they think on their significant other and they're internalizing it, which I actually think can be difficult sometimes, where like we already have enough, both of us as parents, but I think especially as moms, you have so many tabs open in your brain about your kid and about what you're doing in your career or your business. So it kind of explained from your perspective of even this transition when I decided to start something back up again. What was your take on that?
I think it was just I had to like let you kind of fumble a little bit and like find what it, because you were asking me like what you do and like, it's like how many episodes should I do per week, and like should I add a Substack? Like you're kind of like now testing what are the boundaries with that, and I can't tell you what to do in that situation.
Totally.
Because you're gonna have to feel it out. And like, that's why I was like, okay, well, first start with like getting the podcast launch, and then feel what it's like to do 1 episode a week. If you do like it and you have bandwidth, go to 2 episodes. Like, but I did really put in some safeguards. I'm like, you need to hire people to do this parts of things that you don't want to do. Like, I was pretty stern on that, because like the show notes or the editing of the clips and stuff, like that's an easy thing to outsource that you shouldn't be doing.
Which the clips are going to be really vibey.
Yeah,
so if we're not connected on Instagram, you should just go find them and be like, damn, girl, these clips look good. I didn't do them, but I thought about doing them.
But in reality, it's like, as the male partner, and like, if you're listening, like you're a male partner, like there's no like, it's good to like get their opinion, but like, we're not gonna have the right answer, because we're not the ones going through like what it looks like to be the primary caretaker of our child, and also like balance this ambitious side of like, what's the right line. And you're gonna find that through action, not just like hypothetical.
So good. And it's like, you can talk to ChatGPT for a certain amount of time, but ultimately the irony is, and I think we should talk about this real quick. The irony is, I spent the last decade of building a business, first in network marketing, and then into the business that I built in courses and masterminds and events and all this stuff, right? Where like, I basically would tell people, just start. I was always like, start, and clarity comes from action. Like, don't sit on the sidelines, don't overanalyze, don't go into this spiral. I mean, I even tell that with you, with anything you come up with, where I'm like, just go buy the house and then we'll figure out what to do, right? That's always been my mode. But for some reason, I actually struggled a little bit more coming back to this podcast and knowing that like, this would be really impactful. Like, I knew these conversations, especially about that motherhood and ambition integration, I knew that it would resonate with people, because it resonates with me. This is the podcast that I need. And that honestly, like, we need to a certain degree. And so because I knew that it was going to be really impactful, it was almost like I was like stopped at the start line, where I'm like, okay, well, I want to launch this. I think it could be this. And I'm talking to ChatGPT and I'm mapping stuff out. I'm like, this is not me at all. Like, what's always worked for me for the last decade that I've been an entrepreneur and done so much random shit has been start, and then understand, like, I will be able to determine where my desire leans, but also more importantly, I'll figure out what you guys that are listening into this or watching this on YouTube, like those of you want from me. And then I can create from that place.
Yeah. But the difference is, this is a new season of life, right? So it's like, before you could say that, it's like, it was just me and you, like, you can just work as much as you want, right? Like, it's just like, knowing that now made you kind of hesitate of like, there is not that luxury of like, it's gonna just, you can just work all the time out to go and mess up. And like, it's like, you want to be efficient with your time. You're like, you don't want to make the wrong step, because like, there's only a limited amount of time, and like, you don't want to take time away from Brody. And then it's like, you get in your head about it. But in reality, it's start with some like compassion for yourself too, to realize like that it's going to be a little bit of an adjustment to like figure out what that right balance is, where before there's like no balance. You can just like go hard, and it's like whatever. It's just like, it's just
I love going hard.
And side note, you can like use ChatGPT to help organize your thoughts, but don't like live too much in it. I thought maybe like have your ChatGPT talk to my ChatGPT, and then like we can like hold our phones up.
He knows so much about Seena, where I'll be like, why do you think Seena's thinking this?
Keisha's ChatGPT talks to her wildly different than mine talks to me. Like,
it's like, girl, this is a juicy question. I read it back to you. I'm like, this sounds like me. This is wild.
You're just running up OpenAI's electricity bill with all their usage.
Okay. On another note, I'm curious as to what your take would be on how you would define ambition now, in particular in this season of life for us. What does ambition look like? And I'm purposely asking that in like a very broad way to interpret it how you choose.
I just think it's being able to like feel like you're moving and doing things at a rate that's not going to be the same as before. And knowing that's great. Like you're succeeding. You can't compare yourself to like how you did things before. And I think you're going to be wildly more efficient probably, just because there's like less time, and then you figure out how to like be efficient and get things done. But ambition is just like getting to feel like you're doing everything at the right amount level, like the right level, right? Like caretaking, being a wife, being a friend, raising our child, running a business. Like, it's just knowing that those levels are going to look different than before.
Okay, let's talk about that, because I do think, there's a common conversation around comparing ourselves to other people, right? When we don't even know what their circumstances are. But I think even before having a kid, I struggled more so with comparing myself to a prior version of myself when the circumstances were different. But the biggest jolt now has been like a 2-year-old versus a newborn is so different. Like what's required of a 2-year-old, like you can't I mean, you can't leave him unattended. Like he will, who knows what he'll do.
Yeah.
And also like my desire changed, right? And
Yeah.
we talked a lot about this where like, you know, towards when I decided to close empowerHER, I was telling you, I was kind of envious of our nanny who was here part-time, where she would send me pictures when she was with our son. And I'd be like, wait, I want to go do all that stuff with him. And like my desire changed a lot.
Yeah.
But then I still feel like the conversations around capacity and like what you can do now, like how do you check in with yourself, not to compare yourself to a prior version of yourself as a dad now? And then also what advice would you give to someone who's a mom who's doing that? Or even like how you kind of talk to me about it?
Yeah. I mean, it's something I go through right now. Like I'm part of a mastermind group and it's like a lot of people there don't have kids. And like, what was I doing before kids? I should have gone way harder. Like if you're not tired, like you have all this energy and like all this free time. Like what did I do? I could have became president of the United States with, you know, all that free time. But it's reality. It's like, it's just hard not to compare. And I think it's harder for the moms. I think there's a lot of like mom, I don't know if shaming is the right word, but like comparison, I guess, of like, oh, you're like a full-time mom, or like, oh, you're like a stay-at-home. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I think there's a lot of like narrative around that.
Preach.
And I'm not
all
like,
the women listening into this are literally nodding their heads like, literally, yes. You never hear about like, oh, like the dad is traveling for work. It's like, oh, who's raising their kids? Yeah. You know, like you literally will never.
Well, when I walk down the street, it's just Brody. Everyone's like, wow, what a like involved dad that guy is. Whoa, what a lucky wife.
Even though I do it literally every day.
I know, right? I think it's harder for the moms for sure.
Yeah.
And there's like a lot more nuance and like a lot more like judgment, I think, that comes by versus like a dad. And it's so hard. Like, and for me, it's just like, what's that right balance of trying to build a company and like run a real estate portfolio and also like make connections with people and grow that side of the business, with how much like thinking about our future and balancing it with like the now. I think that's probably my hardest thing is like I get so stuck on the future stuff that I miss the now, but you're good about that. So I think it's just like being really grounded in like what you're doing and like giving yourself grace that like you're going to find the right balance. And like, just because that person over there is doing it differently doesn't mean that they're better. And who knows? And like most of the time, like you don't even know what's going on behind closed doors. Like she could be miserable. Like
totally.
She could be a full-time mom and like posting all this stuff on Instagram, making all this money, but then behind closed doors, she's like really upset because she's never with her child. Like, you know what I mean? Like you can't like compare that, or vice versa. Like someone's at home and they wish they were like had ambition to go do like something or whatever it is outside of the home, outside of motherhood. Like, you know, you just can't like take what someone else is doing and like compare it to your own life because you have no idea what's happening in their private life behind closed doors.
And it's also like checking in on that too. Cause to your point, it's like even like being in a mastermind and getting so much value, like every single person that we meet in the world can give us perspective that we don't have. Like, I mean, I just think you can learn something from everyone, point blank, period. And especially people that are entrepreneurs, if you're also an entrepreneur, people that have grown, you know, successful careers, et cetera, right? But it's taking it with that lens of like, what age are their kids, right? Because like even the difference, like like Lindsay's going to come on the pod and like we talk, Lindsay, my girlfriend Lindsay and I talk a lot about how her kids are in school now. So it's like, she's not in the early stages of like toddlerhood or like even us right now, like on a journey to like expand and grow our family, that I know I'm going to be taking like another maternity leave and like, what will that look like? And et cetera.
Yeah.
So it's like keeping the frame of lens of like, number one, do they have kids, but also what stage are their kids in? And more importantly, like, what do you want? Because there's nothing wrong with going hard. If you want to go hard right now and you're listening into this, and this is the season where you're like, I love this business. I have full-time childcare. My, you know, significant other and I are on the same page. This is what we want. Go hard. Like, I want to encourage you. And I know you would do the same. Like if I had something that I wanted to do right now, full-time, where I was like, Seena, I want full-time childcare and I want to go so damn hard.
Yeah.
And I'm going to need to travel every other week or whatever. Like you would say, go do it.
Yeah.
But I don't have the desire to do that. And not because I don't think I have the capacity or ability, it's a desire question too, where it's like when you're comparing yourself to somebody else, it's going back to like, what do you want? Because this is your one shot too, you know? So, okay, I want to talk a little bit about me asking you for things or me not asking you for things that I need. And like, kind of like normalize this conversation, because we got into a little bit of like a snafu the other day, because I was telling Seena that I was annoyed that he wasn't doing things that I wanted him to do. So what I mean by
things
this.
she didn't tell me about.
Yeah, things I didn't tell him about.
And I didn't read her mind, unfortunately.
Exactly. He didn't read my mind, and it was so irritating. I was like, why is he not just guessing what I want right now? Right. So, for example, he just by default was going to the best workout times every single day. And I had no problem with you going to the best workout
best
times.
is subjective.
Okay,
like
the time that we both want.
You're defining that as the best.
Okay, but which time would you prefer?
6:15.
Okay, me too. Yeah. So great. We have the same best time. Okay, so Seena was going to the best workout times, and I would, a couple days a week, I would just feel like I'm so annoyed that he gets to go to the best workout times, and I'm the one that has to do the morning routine, and I don't get to go do my morning workout, da-da-da. And then I literally came to him and I was like, honestly, it's really annoying to me that you go to the best workout times. I want to go to the best workout time on Tuesdays and Thursdays every single week. And you know what he said? Okay.
Literally. I didn't know she wanted to go to those workouts.
That was it. And like, I know there are women listening into this right now that you're nodding your head because there is something that is irritating the F out of you, or you're feeling like you're building up resentment. Like I was literally building up resentment about the fact that he got to work out at the best times and he didn't even, and I was having an argument in my head about how he got to prioritize his workouts and why didn't I get to do that? He wasn't even part of the conversation. And as soon as I made this unseen thought or unprocessed thought, like I put it out in the open, you were like, all right.
Weird. Very weird that would happen.
So why I'm saying that is because I just want to normalize that that's also something that we often do, because I feel like so frequently as women, when we have all of these things that we're trying to check off, we're playing this like superwoman role or this like self-sacrificing conversation that I feel like a lot of motherhood has been made around this conversation of like, look how much she sacrifices for her family. Almost like that's like a badge of honor for real though. Yeah. It's like, look, oh, she does all of this. And like, she never even like goes out with her friends or like, she's always with her kid and like, or whatever. I'm like, okay, no. I want to be a happy, full, complete person as an individual. That's going to make me a better human. That's going to make me a better mom. That's going to make me a better wife. Every single role that I play. So it's like, what do you actually need right now? And asking yourself that question of like, what do you actually need? And then how can you, with your significant other, support each other to get that? And I know this sounds so simple, but it's like, that's been our conversations lately. It's like, what do you actually need for both of us?
Was that an apology for getting mad at me?
I literally apologized to you after. What are you talking about? This is my public apology to my husband.
It's a public apology. Thank you. Accepted. Truly, no, yeah, it is. Yeah, you got to like, I think sometimes you feel like if you can't do it all, then you're like failing or something, right? Like, you know, again, it goes back to like comparison of like, well, if I ask for help, that means that I can't handle it all, or like that I need to like, that I can't just choose another time to go work out or something, that it makes me like a less of a mom or less of a whatever wife. Like, and it just, no, you need to like be able to vocalize what you need. And that's what I've been telling you, like, tell me what you need. Like, I don't know. Cause I'm not the one going through like, you have different feelings and emotions than I do, right? Like,
really?
I mean, like with the childhood, like he wants you a ton. Like he says mommy, I don't know, 1,000 times a day. Like, especially right now, he's in that stage. So it's like, unless you vocalize it, it's like, we need to like put in like structure around like making sure you get what like you want to do.
Yeah.
And like, as silly as it seems, like even a workout, right? Like it seems so silly, but like it helps.
Yeah.
Like if you build in some of the things that you want.
And even when we had more, like, so right now we don't have any childcare and I'm doing everything kind of during nap times as we're figuring out what this season requires of me. But even before that, I remember feeling like, oh, when we have childcare, I'm going to go get a workout in and I'm going to go meet up with a girlfriend for a walk. Like, oh gosh, is that weird that we're paying our nanny? Should I just be working during those hours? And I know that's a really common thing that women think about. Let me tell you, men don't think about that. Right? Unapologetically.
It hasn't gone through my head.
And so it's so interesting, like giving yourself permission. And one of the things that we did that I think was really helpful is we sat down and I was like, okay, workouts. That's something. What do we need? Right now I'm training for a half marathon. So like, hey, I need you to be with Brody at these times. This is what I need to be doing. I need girls' night. We need a date night. You need a guys' night. Like, what do we need and how can we support each other? And it's almost like when you just get it out all on the table, like this is what I need to be a full, complete, happy person as individuals, then everything gets better.
Yeah.
And it was like a drastic change, even when we just started talking about those things.
Yeah. Well, and then again, that just goes back to like, you can't operate the way you operated before kids. Like, it's just like, you have to be like more of a teammate.
Totally.
Kind of scenario where you're like communicating what you need, because before it's like we could just both go to the workout.
Yeah, together.
Unfortunately, you shouldn't leave your 2-year-old at home alone. Like that's not a good plan. You get CPS called on you. So like, you have to be able to vocalize those I think it's like the little things, honestly, like throughout the day are probably like the bigger things are probably like, oh, you want to go out one night or something, like that's not a big of a deal. It's more like the consistent little things and like making, because then it's like a repeated thing every day. You're like, oh, he got the good workout. Oh, he got the good workout. Where it's like, oh, he went out one night.
Or he got to shower and like wash his hair, you know?
Well, you guys just like hair wash schedule. Like that's just weird. Like
I just wash my hair a couple times.
I don't know how it's like that. I'm not going to be able to keep up with it. I don't know when you're washing your hair.
Right, you know what I mean.
We wash our hair every time we shower. Like I don't
body wash.
No, I have it's a 3-in-1. It has shampoo, conditioner, and like hair. Like
you don't even know.
I don't know. Whatever the third is. It's just whatever. I could probably use it as body wash too if I wanted. If I'm in a pinch. But like you guys have like a whole schedule of like when does like I don't know you wash it. It's a hair wash day. It's like, so what does that mean? Like it takes like 30 minutes.
Okay, I want to hear your advice and then we're going to switch gears. But I want to hear advice to 3 different demographics, okay?
Okay.
The first demographic is a couple that's listening in or a mom that's listening in solo who's pregnant. And she's really ambitious in her career or her business. And she's feeling kind of anxious because she doesn't know what the next version of her is going to be or want.
Yeah.
And everybody's freaking her out. You know, it's like, you're never going to sleep again. And like whatever. What would you say to a couple or to a single woman, not a single woman, but like a woman that's listening in without her significant other, if she's pregnant and she's really ambitious?
You're going to be able to figure it out. Like don't anxiety. Like it's already gonna be hard enough when you have a kid, like a brand new child. You have, like you're not sleeping. You guys have to breastfeed, or however you choose to feed. You're still getting up a bunch of times in the middle of the night. Like it's already gonna be hard enough, and you're like Googling all these like little things of like, what does this mean when his like snot's yellow? Should we go to the hospital? Like just like so worried about all these little things.
Yeah, so real.
Like there's no need to like pre-worry. And I know that's like an annoying thing to say because you're like, well, no, I am worried right now.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, you're gonna have to see how you feel with a kid and like what's that going to look like? Like some people choose to go back to work if they 3 months, some 6 months, some a year. Like it's just like you're going to have to feel it out.
Yep.
And it also depends on your situation, you know, with your husband or significant other, that what's that balance look like and involvement on that side.
So good. Okay. What about if they're in the thick of it with the newborn season where like, I feel like I had a lot of this where I was like, so happy, like on a level 100 out of 10 happiness.
Yeah. But
also like, what am I going to do with my life? Because I want to just like stare at this cute little potato, but like, what am I going to do with my business? And like that early stage, what would you say to the mom? And even if her significant other's listening in too, that you think would be helpful?
Try to just soak it up and like, like those moments are fleeting and like, you're going to figure it out. Like there's no timeline. It honestly, it goes so fast. And I remember hearing that and it's like, we only have a 2-year-old. I'm like, holy cow, it's been 2 years. It's insane.
Yeah.
So like, you're going to be out of that season faster than you think. So try to enjoy the moments in there that you can.
So good.
And sometimes it just takes like a little time, like a little action, a little time, and like things get figured out. Like you find every couple finds their balance with a kid. Like no one parents the same. Everyone has their own like household dynamic on how it works. And like, there's no way to like rush past that. Like it's going to already go fast enough. Like don't try to push it more, I guess.
That sounds like such dad wisdom. That was nice.
Just getting that, 2 years in, just a lot of dad wisdom.
So good. Well, it's interesting because I got a DM from a woman who I'm guessing will probably listen into this show, who was like, oh my gosh, I'm 3 weeks postpartum and I just feel like I'm not being able to like get what I needed to get done. And like, how did you, because what I had mentioned is I had said, I'm so much more efficient now during nap time. Like, we have a pretty consistent 2-hour nap, 11:30 to 1:30. It's pretty solid that he's like locked in. That's his one nap. And I can get so much more done in 2 hours than I could have ever gotten done before becoming a mom. Keep in mind, I have a 2-year-old now. So like I've kind of got that rhythm down. And I also understand
it wasn't always like that.
It wasn't always like that.
Yeah.
And not at 3 weeks postpartum. Are you kidding me? I was like, there's like juices coming out of my body. I'm like,
what day is it? I don't even know.
What day is it? Like you're like, it's like, give yourself so much grace. Cause to your point, and I think it's really important that you said this too, even like as a guy, like it really does go by so fast, but you have to give yourself so much grace because you've literally never done this before. And even if you're on your second kid, we've never been in that situation yet. Yeah. But it's different because you've literally never done that season before with 2 kids or with 3 kids. And certain, however, you could have a bazillion kids. It's different.
It'd be like foolish of us to think, okay, well, we went through it with the first kid. So the second one, we're going to just like do it the same. No, it's going to be a whole nother thing of like a crazy like 3-year-old and a newborn. Like it's going to be nuts and it's going to be insane. Like
totally. And we're not going to know what to do. So we're going to be talking about that.
And I think everything is just like, when you feel like that, it's all self-imposed. Like you set some arbitrary expectation of yourself. And then it's like, you're like, well, I'm not meeting. It's like, well, I'm also the one that set that expectation, right? Like, it's like you're playing a game that you set the rules and then you made yourself like lose because of the rules you set. Like it's first, like if you just have like way less expectations, you could exceed them and be like, oh, I'm killing it. Like I did do a hair wash shower today. Like that's a big deal.
Literally though, but actually,
it's huge.
I think that's so important. And it's like, this is a new season, which means you've got a new like scoreboard of what success looks like. And success might just look like literally surviving through the day. Or success might look like I got one little thing done on my to-do list. Or it's like setting those realistic expectations so that you actually can exceed them. I think that's important too.
Well, I know this is your show, but I'm going to hijack it. Like, did you ever feel like you wouldn't get your ambition back? Like, what if someone listening out there is like, well, if I don't keep going, then...
Yeah, what do you mean? Did I feel like that? You know, I felt like that. Because you're asking me the question. Oh, okay.
Wow.
Did I ever feel that way? Yes, I did feel that way.
To the girl listening in that might feel like I need to keep hustling because if I stop, I'm not going to get my ambition back someday.
Yeah. Well, and to that, I was only looking at ambition through career and business too.
That's how most people look at it though. Like that's what you're used to.
But that's what I thought then versus now the way that I think about it is like I was channeling that ambition into how I was showing up to my kid, but I didn't think of it that way. I was worried, like, am I ever going to want to build a big community? Am I going to want to do, like, I was still kind of going.
Well, you were like, am I going to get my spark back? Like you even said that a few times.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, you will. Like,
you will. And you don't know what it will look like. Cause like for me, I feel like I kind of got my spark back a couple months after. And then it was, the biggest shift for me was in June. And Brody was 16 or like 18. The months are so hard.
Yeah,
oh my God.
When do you stop saying months?
Yeah, we're done when he's 2.
No, I'm just gonna keep going.
A little over 2.
No, 28 months.
so like around that time, around like 18-ish months, so like a year and a half-ish, that's when I then was like, I don't want to do this anymore. And I think part of it was because the last business that I had, I was like working with a lot of podcasters and I had a really broad scope of what I was talking about on my show versus what I really wanted to talk about. And I just wasn't like fully conscious or able to admit it was this conversation and really leaning into the motherhood and ambition, especially for moms with young kids or like pregnant, whatever, because that's what I needed. And that's what I care about so much right now that like, I wasn't lit up enough about what I was creating that like, that was really the identity crisis too, was like, I needed to go down to the ground of like, if anything is possible, which anything is possible, if anything is possible, what would I create? And I didn't know the answer to that. So I felt scared because I was like, I don't even know who I am. Yeah, I don't even know who I am if I'm not doing that. And like, so all of that, gosh, there's been so many of those seasons and it's only been 2 years. Can you imagine? Like we're doing this for forever together. Like, oh my God. We're like, once you're a parent, like you're always a parent. Like it never stops,
Yeah,
like this morning we woke up at like 6:30 and we were like, Saturday, we're recording this on a Saturday. We're like Saturday morning, still parents. Like don't sleep in, whatever. Okay.
We also pre-gamed the zoo last night, which is pretty lit.
We went out to happy hour with our friends who have a 5-month-old before we went to the zoo, and we were like,
Halloween at the zoo.
Yeah, I got a little Aperol spritz before we went to the zoo. So good.
We weren't drunk, for the record. We had a drink. We had a drink.
Anyway, okay. This is going to be a real tangent from this, but like we need to talk about this.
Wouldn't expect anything else.
The fertility journey.
Oh, okay.
So we're really shifting gears. Okay, so
the vibe shift.
So honestly, what's been your take? So for context, if you don't know, if maybe this is your first episode listening in, we got pregnant with our son Brody on the first try. He was born November 9th of 2023. Fast forward, we decided to try for baby number 2 this past January, 2025. Got pregnant, or I guess we got pregnant in December, but got pregnant, had a miscarriage in January, had another miscarriage at the end of March. 2 miscarriages. There are a lot of women listening into this that are on their own fertility journey. And oh my gosh, like it's so hard. First of all, like it's so hard for the woman, but for the man too in a different way, you know? what did that feel like for you? What perspective, if maybe, you know, a woman has her significant other listening in or has like friends that are going through it, like what's your take, like from a man's perspective, like on how that was and like what type of support I needed and like what you were feeling?
Yeah. You feel kind of helpless, right? Like you're obviously sad about the situation, but I think I was more focused on you.
Yeah.
Like, cause both mentally, like for me, it's just mental. For you,
Yeah.
it's mental and physical
Yeah.
going through something like that. So it's like, and we have a kid currently. So it's like
Yeah.
that too.
Yeah.
But there's not a lot like I could have done to fix it in that moment, you
Yeah.
know, like besides just being,
And was that the hard part of it?
yeah, like you
Yeah.
want to just like be able to like as men, we want to like fix it. And it's like you can't.
Mhm.
And it's just like you definitely can't speed through those emotions like for as the woman, right?
Yeah.
Like it's
Do you
like
think I did?
No.
No, you think
I think you felt it.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no like I just don't see how you could like
Yeah.
you know, with all the things going on
Yeah.
around that. So it was just hard to like watch that part of like not knowing what to say or do or
Yeah.
you know reverse it or make it like better in the
Yeah.
moment, right? Like so I think that that was definitely the hardest.
What do you, even though it was so shitty, do you feel like there was any good out of it? I know that's really hard, especially for someone
Yeah.
listening. It's like such a, like, is there anything that you learned about like how to support me or anything that you couldn't have learned had that situation, although so shitty and would never wish that upon anyone? Although the thing is, it's so common. You know, miscarriages are, I didn't even like know until I had one. Like, I didn't really understand like how common it was and how many people don't talk about it, which was eye-opening to me. Like people that I knew, like not like super, super close friends, but people that I knew that had miscarriages that I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't even know she had a miscarriage and she's never talked to anyone about it or whatever it may be.
I think it was an appreciation for you and like your strength to get through it. Like seeing that part.
Thanks, babe.
Yeah.
That was a good
I think
answer.
I think you obviously it was devastating, but like I think seeing you rise like a challenge of like how to navigate the emotions around that and show up for Brody during that time was like cool to see. Like that you were able to like be there for our child while going through something really shitty.
Yeah.
And also like you shared about it on Instagram and I think that it was like for you to have the courage to talk about it and like I think I know you got a lot of messages from people like it helped them like hearing about it. So I think that was cool. Like it's hard to say like good, but like I think there's like I don't know if it's positives are the right word, but like bright moments of it that like you can look back and be like, okay, like that was a chance I like proved to myself that like I can get through hard things and like you're gonna be and then like a deeper level of appreciation for like you know having one child and like the next child like when that next child the time comes like it's gonna just be a deeper appreciation for that which like you're already like appreciative of having like a child but like I think it just hits another level when you like have gone through something like that. So
true. And then it gets to be a double rainbow, baby.
That's
what they're gonna call. That's what we're gonna call it. And we're saddled up and we're ready.
This is going in a different direction.
That wasn't really the right term.
Not sure if that was the right one to say.
It's fine. My dad's not listening into this. Okay, so
you might be.
All right. I have a couple questions here. Don't look at my questions.
I can't even see them.
Okay, a couple more questions to close out. Okay. What do you wish ambitious moms knew about how their partners might feel watching them chase big goals?
About the wife, the woman chasing big goals.
So, what do you wish the ambitious women knew?
Okay.
About like could hear from their partners about chasing big goals.
What I would want to hear from you?
No,
this is a confusing question.
Okay, I'm sorry. What do you wish that women heard from men more as they're chasing big goals while they're also moms?
I wish that what you would hear that like I think that it's okay if you're like ambitious, right? Like
ambitious outside of
like I want you to be the right level of ambition that fulfills you. I have no expectation of like whatever you feel is right for you. Okay. Like there's no pressure from me to you to like you have to do this.
We're gonna scrap that question. Okay.
Yeah.
Moving on to the next question. Okay. What do you think we're modeling for Brody when he sees both of us working and parenting?
Ooh. I've thought about this a lot. Like, let's say you like win the lotto and you like $100 million and and your kids don't see you work, like I'm worried what that would like show them, right? Like, are they going to see us working? But it's like, I want them to see the right level of like drive and ambition, but also be present with them. So like that's going to be another challenge when we get there. Like you said, there's always gonna be challenges. Like, how do we like, because right now, I mean, he doesn't really know what's going on, like as far as that, but like it comes sooner than you think, like probably 4 or 5 years old. I'm sure they pick up on like, I don't want them to think we're always working, but they do need to see a level of like commitment to something. Like, how do they learn how to like stick with something and like work through hard things? And like, it does take effort and work and like, discipline to get up and go do what you say you're going to do and like finish things that you started, like things like that. And if you, I don't know, just for us, like, I think we just want to be able to show that to them. Like, cause they're going to, what do they say? It's like caught, not taught kind of thing. Like they're going to watch you. So I think that's gonna be something for us when we get to that season of like, and I think that's like why we're working like really hard now is like to create that we don't have to like have that need to go like 24/7, but we're always gonna want to be able to like show them like, hey, like maybe take them to work with us or like have them involved like with our real estate and be like, this is how this works. And like on a Saturday, it's like we got to go check on, we're going up to this property because we have to like meet a contractor and like that's what you do. And so that'll be something interesting that we navigate when we get there, but it's definitely something we want to model for them because they'll just pick up on whatever you're doing, not what you say. Like,
I think about that so much where it's like, I want Brody to know that I love being Brody's mom, like as a human, but I also want him to know that I love the work that I'm doing in the world. And for me, a lot of it is from like passion overflow too, where it's like, I want him to see that I'm so excited. And like when I'm, keynoting at an event and he's like in the audience and like, we've brought him to stuff I've done early on, but obviously like when he's so little, he has no idea what's going on. But eventually it's like, I want him to understand, like, I can't wait to like have him on the podcast, eventually one day where I ask him questions about whatever. And I think that is a really strong reason why we do what we do, is that modeling too.
Yeah. And I think it just hits another level when you become a parent. You're just like, oh, you're like, you have this other little human you're responsible for. So it just like, just hits another level.
Yeah. I love that so much. The other thing that I was thinking about too is like with a kid right now and him like watching us, how much he copies everything that we're doing right now, where like he copies like the way that if I like hug you or kiss you, it's like, it's such a reminder that like they literally are watching everything. So like being so cautious, I mean, he says like everything that we say, like, so it's like, cautious of your words. But like, I do think it's important for them to see us working so they can understand what working hard. Like, I don't want them to see the lifestyle that we've created. And we've worked really hard to create this lifestyle that's actually going to be different than the way that we grew up, because we're going to have two parents that are constantly around. Both of us are from divorced parents, like, all sorts of different things that we'll get into in future episodes. But one thing that I heard, and I think I told you about this afterwards, but I did a VIP day with a woman named Jillian, who I love. And she was telling me that her kids are in school now and she's an entrepreneur and her husband's an entrepreneur. But when her kids come home from school, she purposely, because she mostly works during the day while they're gone, but she purposely has a half an hour at the end of the day after they come home where she's working on stuff in her office. And like, she's just doing like admin stuff or whatever. And they can come into her office and she tells them about like what she did that day. And they see her like at her computer doing stuff. And I was like, that's so cool that like they do get to see a portion of her day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love that. Okay. To close this out, last question.
Shoot away.
If you were to give advice to someone that's in the midst of a season change right now, what would you tell them? Whether that is right now that because a lot of the questions that that have come up for me, right? Where it's like, am I going to be ambitious again? Am I ever going to be able to figure this out? And like a lot of the times you're wanting to plan things around your kids' ages and you don't even know what you're going to need or want at that stage. What advice would you give to someone in the midst of needing to slow down or wanting to ramp back up again? What would you say?
I think this can be applied to like a lot of things, even like starting a business or doing something new. It's like, you're going to feel like you're failing in the beginning, but that's actually not failing. It's progress. And it's something I have to like remind myself all the time too, is like, I wish I had it right on the first try. And you're not going to get it right on the first try. Because every situation is different. Every business is different. Every relationship, every whatever. So it's going to feel like failure at first, right? You're going to be like, well, I used to do it this way and I felt good about it, but now there's whole new situations here. So I should be able to just pick up where I left off. Like, but you're going to have to adjust and there's going to be some like growing pains there. So give yourself some grace and realize that's progress, not like failing.
So good. Well, I hope that you loved this episode. First of our new segment with mom and dad chats. If you loved it, let us know. If you think that someone in your life could use this podcast, it would mean a lot to me if you send it to them. Like literally just like text them the link to it, especially if they're in that season of trying to figure out how to integrate their ambition and their motherhood, which honestly, we're all in that season and we don't have to do it alone. So thanks for tuning in and we'll see you next time.
See ya.
See ya.